Let's cut straight to the chase. You want to buy a house, but everybody keeps talking about closing costs. Today, I'm going to break it all down for you. No fluff, just the facts. And yes, I'll even show you how to save some serious cash. Look, here's the deal. There are two types of mortgages that are given out to humans: qualified mortgages and non-qualified mortgages. And most people, about 90% of Americans, go with what's called qualified mortgages for their primary, second home, or investment properties. Why? Because they're the cheapest loans in the country, and that's conventional FHA, USDA, and conventional loans. Everything else usually is more expensive. When you buy a house with these loans, you're looking at two major hits to your wallet: down payment and closing costs. Simple as that. Here's something that most people get wrong. Your down payment isn't actually a fee. You heard that right. It goes straight to your purchase price and it lowers your loan amount. Banks use it to figure out how risky you are to them. So the more money you put down equals a less risk to the bank, and the bank loves you. Less money down equals more risk to the bank, and they get nervous. Does it affect your interest rate? Sure, but not as much as you think. Now, let's talk about closing costs, the second major fee. Closing costs are essentially a collection of one-time fees you pay a small army of people to create a loan for you. You pay the bank for their service, which includes the loan officer's pay. You pay the underwriter to approve the loan, a processor to move the loan, an appraiser to give an opinion of value so you don't overpay for the home. The title company referees the transaction between the buyer and the seller. The title company also performs a myriad of other tasks for both the buyer and seller and acts as a neutral third party for your purchase. Then you have to prepay taxes on the home, prepay insurance on the home, and prepay interest on the loan. When you take all these one-time fees and you throw them in a pile, that's referred to as your closing costs. Add your closing costs to your down payment. We refer to that pile as your cash to close. Simple math. When the loan officer starts poking around in your finances, they're going to want to see 2 months of bank statements. Why? Because they need to know if you've actually got enough cash for both the down payment and closing costs. No surprises here. They want to see the money. Let's get real with some numbers. Take a $300,000 house. With a conventional loan, you're looking at a minimum of 3% down payment. That's $9,000 for your down payment, simple math. People love throwing the closing cost as a percent, like 2 to 3% of the purchase price. But here's the truth. That number bounces around until you sign those loan docs at the last day. Why? Because fees are constantly getting added and subtracted throughout the process. The title company sends in their fees later and you get to shop for insurance. You won't know those until later in the game. So in California, where taxes and insurance run higher, closing costs typically range from about 8 to 13K on that $300,000 house. So you're looking at $9,000 for down payment, and let's be conservative at $13,000. You're looking at about $22,000 conservatively here for buying a house. My advice, have some extra funds stashed away in an emergency fund so you have some cash walking through that front door. Here's a pro tip that might save your wallet. Tons of banks, both local and national, have down payment assistance programs. Translation, you might only need to cover just your closing costs, not both. You're welcome. And just so we're clear, while other fancy loan programs exist, thinking like investor loans, bank statement loans, profit and loss loans, DSCR loans, they all have similar closing costs as well. The difference is they usually cost more because they're higher risk loans. That's why we're focusing on the cheap stuff today, qualified mortgages or conventional FHA, VA loans. There you have it, everything you need to know about closing costs, no sugarcoating. If you actually want to save some money on your home purchase, hit that subscribe button. Drop your questions below if you're still confused. I'll tell it to you straight.